Hey, fight designer Kevin Inoue here. Today we're going to play a game called Sword Abuse or Crappy Swords. I got back some rentals today. Well, not today. Recently, though. I had a whole bunch of cutlasses that were sent down to Florida for a sort of corporate bonding pirate-themed gig that a HEMA buddy of mine was doing. And some of them came back just fine. And some of them came back beat to shit. And I'm trying to figure out, is this because I filled in the ranks, because he wanted a whole ton of them, filled in the ranks with some Windlass swords that I hadn't used before. And Windlass, you know, museum replicas, I consider some of them okay, some of them kind of borderline. They certainly aren't as good quality as like the Baltimore knife and sword cutlasses that I sent. Even the cold steel ones that I blunted down were fine. Some of the aluminum also got beat up. To a degree that makes me wonder if they got mixed with steel. But the probably the worst ones are these Windlass blades. So I was just curious before I grind these down to see if this indeed was people hitting way too hard, or if this is just a piece of shit sword. So let's find out. First thing I'm going to do is just beat it up a little bit myself and see what happens. So I consider these to be normal stage combat force kind of hits. And I'm definitely seeing a little divot, but not a huge chunk like those. How much you can see here. So I mean, this person was hitting hard. You can tell because it's out here by the foible, not by the fort. So I'll do some fort-based bashing. Now I consider that pretty darn hard. And I am getting a little bit of notching. Still not as deep as these ones out here. Some of that might just be the leverage that they had if they were hitting with about that same force, but hitting with the foible instead of the fort. But even if I hit as hard as I can, I'm hitting about as hard as I can, and I'm still not making as big a dent as they made on these. So, you know, I gave them the buddy rate on this. I made probably about, they were only using it for one day, so I made like, what, $7 or something off of each of these. I don't know if I can send these out again. We'll see. I'll have to grind the edges down a fair amount and then do some testing on it to make sure that they're still serviceable. Good news is when I do grind it down, the edges will be thicker, so it'll be thicker and lighter. So as long as the steel isn't compromised at all, it should still be okay. But yeah, I'm going to chalk this one up to some mild sword abuse, because we should not have chunks that big taken out of our blades on a one-day gig. So, Windlass, you are at least partially redeemed for today.